Alright, go with the browser here, just a quick overview of it. Verizon's 4G is a little spotty out here, right outside the Kansas City area. Again, I get a little bit better signal with AT&T. Just go to a quick website here. PhoneJunkie.org. Now the scrolling on the web browser works pretty decent. It's not bad. Sometimes it's a little bit choppy, but for the most part it works pretty good. See, like now sometimes I have to double swipe to get it to go. See, it didn't hit that. See, it always sometimes misses the first one. But the pinch to zoom on this works well. It works wonderful. For the most part, I haven't ran into any pages that couldn't upload correctly, anything of that nature. And the hotspot internet tethering with this phone actually works very well also. I've used that a lot, but then again, I run into the problem when I go to certain areas, the internet's not that fast. But I know when I'm in the actual Kansas City area, the Verizon's 4G actually works really well. Very fast. Alright, now just to go over a few of the pros and cons of the phone. Few things I like, again, the smart actions. I really believe that's a plus on this phone. The big battery life improvements, with the huge 3300 milliamps battery. I was able to leave it on, playing videos. I think it was like in the upwards of 17 hours when we did our test on that. It stayed playing a movie for the upwards of 17 hours. Netflix on here worked really well. I did get a few buffering every now and then, but for the most part I was able to watch a whole movie, and that's still with this battery. I watched the whole movie. I watched The Punisher last night. I was actually doing, writing down the review for the Netflix. I actually kind of got into the movie, and I watched the whole movie, and I'm still sitting here with about 80%, 75% battery left, starting today off. And this phone will definitely last you 2.5 days. So the person that's really heavy on their battery, constantly running into those problems, this is the phone for you. It'll well last over 2 days with no problems. Anything like that. Excuse me. It has a strong body. That's another pro of it. The Kevlar fibers, and the feel of it just feels really good. So that's one thing. You have a more sturdier phone. You have a bigger battery. In case you actually drop it, it'll hold up to accidental drops, things like that. The Gorilla Glass prevents the screen against scratches and scrapes, and is also, water resistant. So that way, if you're, having to run your car through the rain, something like that. But if you drop it in a puddle, sorry, it won't hold up against that. And it's going to be upgradable to Android 4.0 Ice Cream. Now, I can use that on my cons also. I think they should have waited to release this when they were ready for Android. Instead of just the battery difference. I think they could have upped a few of the specs on it, maybe changed a little bit of things. Because I know it made a lot of people mad that, within 2 to 3 months they released this new phone of the same device, just a bigger battery. It makes people feel they're not getting their money's worth. They're feeling cheated. And that's something Verizon needs to keep in mind. I know a lot of people, express their opinion just like that when Samsung, released the Galaxy series here, And that's another thing with this phone is that I think they should have waited until it was ice cream sandwich ready, then released it with the bigger battery and ice cream sandwich. That's just my personal opinion. Another con of it, I think the thickness might bother some of the people. For me, it was perfectly okay. And a lot of people, I was reading online, a lot of people say that they poorly placed the micro USB charging port that you might get confused with HDMI. I mean, I don't think that's a big deal. The charger on the top, it does get in the way sometimes, makes you have to angle the phone a little bit weird. I like it better on the side, but that's not a deal breaker for me. For some it might be, a lot of picky people out there. But the overview of everything, I mean, for the hardware, this 8.99 millimeters thick compared to the Razr 7.1 millimeter thickness, it's not that big of a difference. Everything works better. The camera was really well. The battery performance was outstanding. And for the most part, I mean, this phone, I would definitely recommend you to go in and try it. I wouldn't use this as a personal device. It's just not what I need to spend $299 on a phone. I'm looking more towards the Samsung Galaxy Note. But if this is a phone you're needing, I think this is going to be targeted more towards people that need a bigger battery. And also, I forgot to mention that this does not have a removable back, so you cannot change out the battery. So to keep that in mind. But you shouldn't need a spare battery with this. But if any of you have any questions, feel free to ask. Comment below. This is the Motorola Droid Razr Maxx by Verizon Wireless. I'd like to say thank you to Verizon for allowing me to do the demo on this device. If this is a phone that you're definitely interested in, make sure you visit your nearest Verizon Wireless retailer. Have a good one.